it is also a fact that a lot of people who had the wherewithal did not really feel the heat of demonetization. Perhaps the same set of people for whom it was aimed. A lot of people found loopholes out of the system. Some, as you mentioned, by paying salaries in cash in advance. Others found other means to get around it. At the end of the day, after these figures, people are still asking, what good did it do?
As I said, I was one of the first to have supported it. I continue to support it, and I support it for non-economic grounds as well, because I was just told that the Prime Minister had used in his speech of November 9th the word corruption 16 times, because one of the basic objectives, one of the principal objectives of demonetization was to push back this culture of complete dishonesty and and non-tax compliance, etc., and reintroduce some probity, integrity and honesty in our society, in our system. I mean, the fact is, and nobody can deny it, that ever since that day you've had a change in the culture. You had a change in the whole sense in which people are going about their economic businesses, and the fact remains that you've had a growth in both the tax base and in the tax collections, and in the fact that the about 23,000 crore has been seized over and above the 13,000 that was not returned. Why do we keep this narrative going on?
No, the reason is, sir, with all due respect, the change of culture you're talking about. Sir, with all due respect, the change of culture you're talking about, and I'm glad you brought out the theme of corruption. That was the basic reason why demonetization was implemented. Where is the evidence to back the claim that corruption has now reduced in this country? On a day-to-day level, on an everyday level, I think if anyone conducts a straw poll in and around them, they feel they still have to go through it.
If you can't see the evidence, Tamanna, I must say you must be being purposely blind. The watering holes of Delhi and Mumbai and Bangalore have stopped. There is no high-level corruption in any of the government deals, in any of the government procurement that you can think about. You constantly bring back petty corruption on the street, or what is called the speed money, and even there, a large number of services have now been put online so that people don't have to pay the speed money to the people concerned, including registration of your land, properties, etc., as well as the reimbursement of your tax refunds and so on. I mean, this is on purpose that we are trying to carry on with this narrative. And I'm afraid, I was told that you'll be talking about the new GDP figures, but you've chosen to talk about demonetization, and please take it from me that demonetization has not had the kind of negative effects of 1.5% GDP growth rate being shaved off, etc., etc. That's just a completely false narrative. Instead, we now have a much more formal, cleaner, tax compliant economy, which will enable us to sustain high rates of growth without the boom and burst cycle that we've had in the past.